welcome to Circle of Connection. Tonight we're going to be discussing competition or collaboration. I'm going to go around these lovely ladies and get them to introduce themselves. Starting with you, Jem.
Yes, sure. My name is Gemma Borgert. I am Managing Director of a medical devices organisation called PFM Medical UK. And I'm especially looking forward to discussing such a vital topic with all of you tonight.
After me. So hi everyone, I'm Melanie Lomax and I run Melanie Lomax Coaching specifically for, I'm sort of known as the change maker for professional working women that just want a bit more in life, because I think we all want to break free at some point. So I'm really excited because this topic comes up a lot and it can impact a lot of different things, so I've definitely got some things to be talking about in terms of collaboration and both competition.
Fabulous.
Thank you.
Jules.
Yeah, hi Marie, hi everyone. So I'm Julie Hawkins, otherwise known as Jules, and I'm here to talk about the Single Mums Business Network and how it's very much about collaboration, coming from a very long work history where you had to compete with each other due to the nature of the workplace. Having come out of that and learn how to collaborate with women instead of compete with them, it completely changes your life and it changes the way you feel about yourself as a woman. And you know, we're all here together because we're not afraid of each other and we're collaborating, talking, and it's brilliant and it's powerful and it will help other women too.
Yeah, definitely. Jodie.
And yes, hello, I'm Jodie Salt. I run Ladies Life Lounge and also Womanifest, which is a festival of all things female, feminine and womanly to bring like-minded women together. I think there's positives and negatives to both, so it'd be good to get into some meaty conversation tonight.
Yeah.
Excellent. I think we should start with that, Jodes. So give us some of your positives and negatives of starting with competition.
Starting with competition. Well, if you take us back to I'm going to say the early 80s. Think back to when we were in primary school, which for me was the early 80s. I turned the grand old age of 40 this year.
Me too.
Hey.
Congratulations.
With a kids of 79.
Just joined the club as well.
Joined the club.
Yes.
Congratulations, welcome.
Sorry, to me.
But it's interesting, isn't it? Because as a young girl, we were brought up to compete in the classroom, which my stark memories of that are very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Yet my children now are in school. It's not the winning that's important. It's the taking part that counts, is the phrase as it goes, isn't it?
Yeah.
The where I've got to, particularly with competition, is I compete with myself.
Yeah.
I think that's good for me and my growth. That I compete with my own previous performance, but much to the point Jules made, less likely to compete, particularly with other women. I find it a bit toxic when actually we can achieve so much more when we are together.
Yeah.
But then I think it possibly depends on those specific women and those specific relationships. Because when it's a very healthy competition, that can be really motivating and engaging. But as long as it's not toxic, totally agree with you. And I've experienced both. But learning from your colleagues or your competitors completely, not just people, maybe the companies or people who are competing with you in your own roles. It can be something, I think it can push us to deliver more, and I think it can be used as a benchmark, but only when it's a healthy.
Now that's an interesting one, isn't it? Because I guess we all agree with that. What are those healthy kind of characteristics?
I think the arena that you're competing in is very, very relevant.
It is.
So if it's, so we're 5 females together and we've connected and, let's aim for doing this or doing that. Now that's a bit of, the competition there is kind of healthy. I don't feel like you're going to go, oh, you only did one, fail, you know what I mean? So it's like, it's that, the arena matters, it's relevant.
Is it respect? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I think that, you know, you can look at competition in various different ways, because there's the competition when you're working in a business, there's competition for you as an entrepreneur, there's competition for you on a personal perspective.
Yeah.
So it depends on which arena you're looking at from. So if you're thinking from a business perspective, absolutely, you know, the little bit of like sales environment, it's, you know, whoa, get the juices flowing, you know, and they all get a little bit competitive and it's a bit rah-rah, there's camaraderie. And then from an entrepreneurship, and especially being a solo entrepreneur, I often get asked, well, are you worried about your competition? My answer is no, I'm absolutely not worried at all what anybody else is doing, because I stay in my lane. And as Jodie said before, it's vitally important. I've got clear goals for me from both a work and a personal life that I know I need to achieve. So absolutely, I'm in competition with myself on what I want to achieve, but I've got clear goals for that. So, you know, it's one of them. In a certain situation, I think it has great ability to motivate people. But then if it's on a personal basis, so like, you know, oh well, the next door neighbour's just got a brand new sofa, we need to get one. Then, you know, is that healthy competition? So it depends on which way, I suppose, you're looking at it.
I think crucially what we've got to look at is the driving, the fear. And this is where this is our primal need to survive. And this is where competition can be really toxic, is when we fear our livelihoods, our homes, you know, how we're going to put food on the table. In a work environment, there's no fear. Yes, you may be competing for the bigger bonus, whatever, but you've still got the steady income, the steady wage. So you're not competing, that person's not going to ruin your life. And this is what we've got to be very careful when in the entrepreneurial sense, when we're independent women. We need to help each other understand that we still don't need to compete with each other. Yes, absolutely. We all rely on that income. It's, you know, yes, there are lots of women doing what we do out there, but this is where we've got to actually understand the numbers. There's enough for everyone. There really is. We're naturally skilled. You know, one brilliant coach can actually only genuinely help 10 women a month, maybe, or 20 if you're really busy. And you know, you think about those other 19 women, they're not all going to be coaches. They're going to have different skills and be doing different jobs. So there's room for a brilliant coach for every 20 women. There's room for a brilliant massage therapist for every 20 women.
That's something that, you know, was cropped up for me just as you were saying that, is actually this is a mindset thing. Whether you are somebody who has the kind of scarcity mindset or the abundance mindset. Now, I've been there. I've operated with a scarcity mindset.
Me too.
Yeah,
Me too.
And it's uncomfortable, and I didn't enjoy it, and I didn't perform. I didn't get the results that I was looking for. Moving to more of an abundance mentality helped, but that doesn't mean I still don't slip back there from time to time. It still bites me on the bum sometimes.
And that's where the self-awareness comes in. You have to go, oh, she's in. It's the indicative.
Absolutely.
She's here to tell, oh no, you needed that sale.
I've made rubbish decisions, and then I thought that was the scarcity mindset that made that decision.
And it's because of the emotion that's attached to it, and you can never make a great decision when you're dealing from an emotive state.
Absolutely, and that is, I think, brings us nicely back to what Jules was saying about when it is an unhealthy environment, it is driven by fear, it's driven by lack of confidence, and the people that actually will use competition in a negative way, in a bullying or saboteur kind of way, which I have experienced personally as well, it's purely because of their own situation. It's not actually about you, it's about them. So that is so I think what we've all said so far is that competition can be a really positive thing if it's healthy, and it can be an incredibly debilitating thing if it's unhealthy.
It was debilitating in relationships as well. When I was in my 20s, I was so insecure. You know, I was naive enough to think there was scarcity out there. Now I know there's abundance out there, so I never fear losing a relationship because I know there's plenty more to choose from. But you know, it kind of, I think that's why you get more confident as a woman as the years go by, and you know, you fear losing your partner. So instead of making friends with the women in your network circle, they're potentially the enemy. They might steal your man. They might steal. You are
the old
afraid.
school thing,
but when you're confident in your own skin, you're like, do you know what? If he doesn't want me, he's not good enough
Yes.
for me.
Yes,
Off
but
you
isn't that
go.
down to knowing your worth? And I
It's
think a lot of it
knowing
comes
where.
back to, it is that inner critic, but it's having the ability to know your self-worth
Yeah.
and know what your values are and know what works for you, so you are getting towards that abundance.
Yeah.
So
I wrote
self-esteem.
something about myself.
Self-esteem.
It was only yesterday actually. I think I got asked to write a post that kind of introduced me to a group of people so they could get to know me better. And the first sentence that I wrote was, hi, I'm Jodie, I'm 40 and I feel like I've finally arrived. And it's only this year that I finally thought, I'm all right with who I am to be like you've just
Yeah.
described, Jules.
It does happen
Up
when we get
until
to that
then,
40.
I wasn't.
And we need to help girls get to that stage
Quicker.
sooner.
It's a gift.
And
Much
boys
quicker.
too.
Yeah.
And that's where I
I'd
think
say it
collaboration
affects
works.
Everybody,
Yeah.
as you get older and as you mature, that actually you do have the confidence to get rid of the dead wood
Yeah.
and get rid of anyone in your life that brings you down,
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
negative, is really not a support.
Yeah, all
is
the
a
moon hoovers, the Debbie
yes,
Downers.
love the moon
Yeah.
hoovers.
Yeah.
And that's also, so I think the theme we're finding here is actually exactly what you said a few minutes ago, Jodes, is it's mindset,
Yeah.
is what in a way guides whether competition is healthy or
Or
unhealthy.
unhealthy.
Yeah.
From either
in the
side.
workplace. Yeah, it's okay in the workplace. Let's give each other a bit of competition, and in business too. Because, okay, if somebody's doing better than you, and I mean, if they're priced more competitively or something, then maybe you do need to look inward a little bit. You think, am I being a bit greedy? Are they doing better than me because they're actually more on target with what, the constituents? We're not talking legal, but you've got to listen to people.
Yeah.
And
It's almost like taking the feedback on
Take
board,
it,
self-reflecting,
yeah,
looking
you-
in the mirror.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
And it's
Being
not
self-aware.
uncommon. We are human, and we do sometimes go, actually, I'd like to have a bit of what she's got. That's okay. You can absolutely have what you want. Yeah, that's your motivation. So what is it that they do really well? So what I often say to women when I'm coaching, if they feel like, they've got this anger going on inside, well, she's got this or she's got that, and it's not fair. It's a real victim mindset, and it's about what is triggering that, because something is triggering you
Yeah.
to actually feel that way, and that's the thing that needs to be addressed so that you can then move forward.
And
Because
it's that self-awareness,
it
isn't
is
it?
absolutely.
Because you can flip that.
Yeah.
Once you realise that actually the reason I'm maybe judging or drawing meaning from the way she is
Yeah.
being successful,
Yeah.
then actually what does that say about me? That says I'm jealous and I want it too. Therefore, really, I admire her.
Yeah.
And then to your point, Mel, if I can work to emulate, not
Yes.
it's not about being her,
Yeah.
but I think what is it about her that I truly deep down do admire?
It's inspiration.
Can I make my
isn't it?
own version of that thing?
And absolutely.
And that's when it's
Yeah,
good, isn't it?
absolutely.
But,
Yeah.
but just building on that,
In
sorry.
school, at that point, if you're sat there and there is someone that you're maybe feeling the competitors coming, it's like, get back to your goals. I'm sure you've set some goals. What were your goals? That's where you need to be focused. Because as soon as you're focused, is switching onto that whole, she's overtaken. It's like, you've took your focus off your goals. You've took your focus off your objective. Because if you are so focused on your mission, you haven't got time to be thinking about what she's doing.
Absolutely.
If you are thinking about what she's doing or what she's doing, or then
It's
You're
somewhere
going
down the line,
backwards.
Yeah.
uses
bring
up a
yourself
lot
back.
of additional energy.
Yeah. Get back on the goals, get back on your own objective. That's
Absolutely.
what you
Waste
said,
of
stay in your lane.
It is,
That's
that's
what
right.
it is.
Stay focused, stay in your lane,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
it becomes a distraction.
Yeah.
When you're looking at, it's great to have role models and things like that,
Yeah.
absolutely. But when you become to the point of distracted
Yeah.
and resentful,
Yeah.
you need to just get back in
If
and
it's
get
spending
focused.
too much time in here.
Yeah.
And we only ever see the best of other people as well. We're all guilty of this. I mean, for years and years, I've been sharing awards on my private Facebook profile, and and
And
this
I love
is.
that though, because I want to celebrate you, because I've seen how hard you've
Yeah,
worked.
but this is now, really. But I'm talking about 3 years
Yeah.
ago, 4 years ago. I'm like, I've won another award for my keepers, and behind closed doors, I didn't have a cooker, a washing machine, a carpet. I was absolutely brassic broke. none of my friends knew any of that. No
Mhm.
one picked up the phone or said, how are you really doing? It just
Yeah.
thought, oh, why? And then they were, well, what about
Yeah.
it? You know, and this is what we see with the people all the time. We only ever
Their
see the
Instagram
positive.
life almost.
Exactly, yeah.
Go on,
You're not going to
Sarah.
say to somebody, oh my God, you know, I can't cope anymore.
See, I do.
Yeah.
People say to me, how's it going? And I'm like, it's really not great at the moment. I'm not going to ritual cliche you at all with, yeah, I'm fine, it's brilliant, business is booming.
Are you really British? Actually, with that kind of true answer?
I
Yeah, one leg hanging off, and it's fine. It's a scratch.
Like, no, actually, it's pants.
Pretty
But
much.
good for you. But then
Do that. Me and her have done that before now.
Can I also just bring in here, I think builds on it quite well, is that the whole concept of situation and outcome. And any situation, the outcome is decided by your reaction.
Yeah.
Absolutely anything,
Yes.
right from
Yeah.
road rage to a nasty bitchy comment or something someone might say on social media, and it's purely we're all in control of the outcome
Yeah.
of that situation because of our reaction,
100% with you
regardless
on that.
of what it is. And I think that again links quite nicely to the competition thing.
Yeah.
Because I once had a competitor come up to me, and I've got to be careful the language I use here on a podcast,
Steady.
that said, you know, you guys are really causing, I'm just milding this up a bit, causing us some massive problems.
Massive problems.
I can imagine what that
Great.
like.
Yes, yeah. I'll tell you the real version later. But yeah,
So why were
Right.
they thinking you were doing that? What
Whereas-
exactly were they?
we were just killing their market share because we
Sure.
came in with a better strategy, more innovation, and higher quality
Better
people.
plan.
And a better plan, and it was actually very honest. I felt it was said, it delivered in a good way, but my reason to say it was that thank you.
So in the corporate environment, that's very healthy because you're giving them food for thought, aren't you? You know,
Yeah.
this is you know you're competing for that share, and you're doing something great, and they really need to observe that. Going back to the envy jealousy
Yeah.
thing, it's a really healthy emotion. You look at
Yeah.
someone, you hate them. You know, when you're
But-
naive to those emotions,
Yeah.
you think you hate them.
And he actually then said,
It's just-
"We've got to get our arse into gear,
Yeah,
haven't we?" And I said,
exactly.
"Yeah,
Well,
come
that's
on."
all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Come on,
Do you know
you
what
know.
the interesting thing is about that is, and I often say this, is business is no different to life, because if you think about what you just said, they had a strategy, they were on for game changing, and if you want to do that yourself, that's where it comes back to those goals. So it is about having that strategy and those goals in place so that you can stay in your own lane. So, you know, if there is something that you want, you get it in
Yeah.
there. You get it in there and you make it happen.
You make it
always,
happen.
There's always a way to do something.
You've got to take responsibility.
Massively.
And this is where we need to help each other with women collaborating as women.
So let's move into collaboration
Yeah.
now.
That's
Oh,
a
we
nice.
talked about the
sure.
It's a
competition.
good link.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
Let's
also
go into collaboration.
because
Okay.
what Mel's just said as well is about learning from other people, and that is a fundamental principle
Yeah.
of collaboration.
Yeah.
I am a big people watcher. You know this, Jan.
Yes.
When we first met, it's like I was taking it all in, and it's like, yeah, you know, the more that I can learn from a woman who's been doing it for 5 years longer than me, or is, you know, a 50-odd-year-old lady is going to have more wisdom than me. So I'm going to watch it and I'm going to learn from it, I'm going to listen to it. If she's got something to say, I'm not going to take it as, don't be telling me because I know it all. No, tell me more.
Yeah.
I want to know what we miss out on when we are in competition is, one of you guys said it before, we miss out on the fact that this person is in our life with all their wisdom, with their new perspective, with their fear that they could be sitting on your ideal connections. So it's like, be clever with how you're, you know, approaching people and how you're, give them respect, give them an ear, understand, listen, and, you know, kind of follow the path with them. Because actually, in that collaboration, this is not even at all me going over the top. Collaboration is absolutely, it's the gold.
Yeah,
In
and
any
it's
relationship.
fundamental. And I have to admit that for a very long time within my career, it was almost instilled in me, right from university, do not show any weakness, don't ask for help,
Yeah.
do it all your own, just be tough, strong. And what terrible advice.
I agree.
But all of a sudden, when I did change that and realised I needed to actually look outside of myself and think, well, I could actually improve specific things, and I learned from others, and I asked for help, and in fact the collaboration, and also the main thing that I've learned is that the best collaboration I've experienced is with people with a completely different perspective than mine. And someone that also picking the right person to collaborate with. I think one of you's mentioned, I think on our discussion on email today about trust. And you know, opening yourself up for collaboration and saying, I've got this idea and I want you to do it with me. I think we can do great things. It's making sure you've got someone who will check, who will make a difference with you, who will follow through, who actually has the same vision, not about the actual practical kind of making a plan of how we're going to do this, but that they have the right mindset to do it, but a completely different perspective. That's just in my experience. What do you guys think about that?
Definitely.
But that's where you need a
Contrast.
healthy debate, because we've always been going back to what we were talking about earlier, people pleasing. From school you're taught to people please. So we've lost the art very, very young of how to have a healthy debate. A debate isn't an argument. You know, I hate to say this, but when I used to debate at home as a child, I was disciplined, it was naughty.
Yes.
You know, my voice was capped.
You were told you were difficult, I'm sure.
Yeah,
That's
so
a word
be
that was...
cheeky.
Yeah, so through my 20s then I was just people
Stop
pleasing, people
backchatting.
pleasing, people pleasing. Exactly, I'm sorry, was I? You know, we
1985 again. I'm feeling it.
Stop that
Yeah.
for our girls. They need to keep this strong voice.
Yeah.
You're
Very
absolutely
hard.
right, because again, this is all the stuff that then affects our mindset as we get older, because you've got all these beliefs. You know, I remember as a kid being told, you know, no, you don't do this, no, you don't do that, or, you know, focus on your own thing. And it sort of stopped me for a while. I was quite insular. And it wasn't until I sort of got older and then I got into the work arena that it was sort of like working on projects and things like that. The whole thing about collaborating, it was like, wow, this is like a completely different world. And it was great, because what I find with collaboration is, especially when you've got the right sort of boundaries and strategies in place and everybody knows the role in that, massive things come off the back of it, and the satisfaction that comes on the back of that is absolutely huge. You know, and I still love to collaborate today, even though, you know, it can be a lonely job working on your own as an entrepreneur. My network of women, that is just like gold to me, because, you know, I think we understand one another, we understand one another's pain points, but we're I think as well around a similar age where we sort of get one another and we know what we're sort of working on. And there's different dynamics, isn't there? There's like 7 billion people in the world, not one of us is the same. So it's about knowing who you are and your strengths, and then who can I add into the mix, which is just going to make this, whatever I'm focusing on, something brilliant and
that,
fantastic.
It just
Synergy.
triggered something for me, particularly in diversity, and being able to value diversity, because as human beings, we're kind of wired to like people like ourselves, right? That's just how it works. When actually, if you can kind of override that kind of principle in yourself and go for diversity, and when you said it earlier, Jem, about having people around you that might challenge some of your perspectives, debating something, you know, it doesn't have to be a problem if we disagree and we have a different opinion to each other. But actually that's when we open our minds and great things come of it. You're just about to talk about synergy. That's a big saying for me, is the whole is greater than the sum of the parts.
Absolutely.
So as 5 individuals sitting here around this table, we could be 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 + 1 is 5. But actually, if we're open to work together in that synergistic fashion, then we could equal 10 or 20 or 1,000.
The results are far greater, and the impact is far greater.
Totally.
Oh, the ripple is so real.
But we don't value as much diversity, and for me the big thing is around judgment, particularly in women. How we judge ourselves, we give ourselves such a hard time.
Oh God, yeah, self-flagellation is
You know.
one of the things, and most women are really
And then
very
judging
good.
each other. Why we have to draw meaning from everything we observe is beyond me, rather than just, oh,
Yes.
she's wearing knee-high boots. Great.
It is human to make a judgment and make a perception.
Yeah, it's
isn't it?
really hard. I didn't think I was a judgmental person, and then I had to go at doing a judgment detox, because I've got teenage girls and they're all over Instagram and Snapchat. They do that silly pout.
God,
mine too.
Right? Like, what is that? What is that? Anyway, and they're constantly, they judge everybody. And I was like, right, we are not having this in this house. And they're like, Mum, you're such a hypocrite. You're so judgmental. And I was like, I'm so not. So we did a
Are
test,
you?
and I was.
Are you still?
I've got more self-awareness now, but I was doing it when I
Yeah.
didn't think that I was. So anybody listening to this who might be sitting there thinking, everybody else is judgmental, but I'm not. I encourage you to just
Yeah.
look inward a little bit, and you will
Yeah.
see that there is
So
so much
are.
more there.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's not great. If we could do less.
It is
Yeah.
human nature, but as you rightly said, being aware of it means that we can do something to modify our behaviour.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And just
Self-awareness
occasionally
is
pulling yourself up on it and,
Yeah.
and saying, or even a friend or a relative, and actually saying, oh, is that quite
I think
fair?
the awareness comes from because it's the chatter that goes on in here, because it might not come out of there, but you're still thinking it. So it's being aware that you are still definitely thinking it.
You mean the non-stop chatter?
We've got to bring that back into the collaboration. This is where we've got to reconnect as human beings.
Yeah.
We really have to reconnect as human beings, all of us. You know, this is collaborating as a humanity, as society. We've got to stop anything that divides us and everything that divides us. This is why we've got crime, this is why we've got adversity. We've got complete disconnection from one human being to another.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's because of what you don't experience personally you can't connect with, and we've got to really challenge that, and we've got to collaborate more, and we've got to try and understand each other's situations more. You know, and that's why we've got great need now for a more diverse ruling, the government, etc. With the words come out, blah, blah, blah. But you know what I'm saying? Yeah,
It's good.
you know, we need a connected society. We can't have disconnection. We can't have people governing us who don't connect with us. We
Yeah.
need to all be connected, because when we're connected, the people who really need help then are going to feel like they are being helped.
Absolutely. Judging.
But
Come down to very well said, Jodie.
Change the world.
Change the world.
But is that a very key point of something that, I mean, I know as sort of starting my career in salespeople can often be bad at, is listening.
Yeah.
And listening and understanding. So what you said about, you know, the kind of people that are really in a very, very tough part of society, and not instead of making a judgment and making assumptions, which you hear people do all the time, about what their life must be like or why they're there. Oh, they're probably a drug addict. And when you actually go and talk to some of these people that are on the streets, they're not.
Yes,
But
the
there's
bias.
circumstances, and of course, yes, there is a lot which are, but again, we get tarnished with the brush. And I think we're all guilty of that sometimes. And it's, but then you talk, then you listen, and then you realise what the key issues really are, and what potentially we can do
We can.
to solve them.
And actually, as women, I think we've got a real competitive advantage there, because I'm full of the phrases tonight. What sprung to mind as you were talking, Joan, was first seek to understand, then be understood.
Yeah.
And as women, I believe that comes really naturally to us
Yeah.
Okay.
to
then.
do that. And if we can do that, that's at the root of being
Yeah,
able to
we have
collaborate.
the empathetic.
Yes.
And it's not about
nature.
excluding the
Instinct.
men. You know, the men benefit from this. A happy wife makes a happy life. You know, a happy mother makes a happy child. And I don't mean that in any way stigma or anti-feminism or anything like that. You know, I love the masculine, the feminine, and equality and everything else. But you know, when we're all happy, the men are all right. You know, they're quite
But it's
simple,
interesting,
really.
yeah, it is right. Maybe God of getting into dangerous territory. But what you say, Joe, is absolutely right, that there is an instinct there. There is an instinct. And I was in a meeting last week, and there was a member of staff which was obviously, there was something that wasn't quite right that I picked up on. And their line manager was in the room, who's an excellent boss, an excellent line manager, and a brilliant guy. And only afterwards he said to me on a one-to-one, he said, I would never have thought to ask that. Because it was a probe, it was sort of, tell me exactly what's been going on. Because it was just a feeling in a sense.
Intuition.
Yes, perhaps. And he said, I'm really jealous of that. And I said, but I think you can, is it something you can learn? Is it instinctive and that's it? I think there's something in between the two.
Yeah, I'm sure, I'm confident you can learn. I think sometimes there are things that come more naturally to men, and there are things that come more naturally
that's
to
right.
women. This is
Yeah.
sensory perception, I think,
There are
sits
some.
more naturally, generally
We have an
speaking, to women.
advantage there.
Yeah.
But then I was able to give him some pointers. I said, well, yeah, but did you see his body language?
Yeah.
Did you see the way questions were being avoided? Now, come on, you're a sales director. Interpret what this person
But
is
that's all
saying.
teachable stuff, isn't it? You know,
I think it can
no
be.
doubt as a human he has the ability to have the empathy, but it's about
Definitely.
how to sort of see and take in what he is, question what's going on, and then make that decision as to how to act. And there's loads of ways that. You know,
And
people
then,
talk
you
to
see, I
stuff.
think it's the difference between conscious and unconscious.
Yeah.
And he's now consciously aware of
And it's about
that.
collaboration
Yeah.
in terms of the team and the ethics
And
and,
I learned
the
from
performance.
him things as well.
Okay,
Collaborate.
so we'll wind this collaboration up.
Oh,
Oh.
Okay.
It's like Luke
This
swimming.
is like take one. This is going to be a take two, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
This whole
A weekend.
Okay, so as a little food for thought for everyone listening at home, I'm going to go around everyone and just give your final word on competition or collaboration. Gemma.
Okay. I think what's come across is that the power of collaboration is enormous, whether it's your personal life, your professional life. And when it's done with the right people, with the right mindset, and as I said before, people who are perhaps have a different perspective, and you listen to that and implement that, it's incredibly powerful. Competition I keep mentioning this word healthy and unhealthy. When it's really healthy, can be incredibly motivating, can push you to be your best and so on. But it's being aware of the unhealthy competition, which we've sort of come to the conclusion, haven't we, that is about individuals, and it is usually about lack of self-esteem, confidence and so on and so forth. So I think from my perspective it's always being aware of the difference between good competition and bad, and with collaboration maximise it and do it, collaborate in every aspect of your life. There you go, that's enough for me now.
Well done.
Thank you.
I don't know what's left to say after that. Should we go now? Wrap up. Yeah, so really quickly, for me, I'm all for collaboration. I think that's where the sweet spot is. In any part of your life, so whether it's in, as we were talking about, your relationships, your work, definitely there's so much to be learned. Every day is a sort of a day to learn, a day to share, and the more that you do that, the more knowledgeable you become and the more people that you help and support along the way. So it becomes a team effort. So for me, that's where the good stuff really sits. Competition, I think there's absolutely a place for it, and I think it goes back to that, does it come under the healthy forum, or is it getting into a bit of the, you know, the nasty, toxic style thing? So for me, collaboration all the way. A little bit of competition here and there doesn't hurt anyone.
Yes. I like that.
Nicely done, Jules.
Yeah, I would like to say, can we all just encourage everybody to help each other more as human beings?
Absolutely.
You know, if you don't want to, if there's something stopping you from sharing somebody's post or letting people know about something, ask yourself why. What are you afraid of? Why? Why are you feeling competitive? You know, what's triggering these envy or jealous emotions? Why? And really break yourself down into the fear of why you're not helping another person. Why do you want all that for yourself? Why are you trying to keep it all for yourself? What are you afraid of? And then, you know, when you let that go, you just find that life's a whole lot nicer when you just help
Well
people.
said.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
I'm going to write that down.
Josie?
I'm feeling that like I want to be a rebel now. I want to say competition just to be a rebel, but I'm not going to.
She's like the biggest collaborator in the world.
Oh my gosh, what laugh was that? It's gotta be collaboration. I'm only ever going to compete with my own performance. And I might do the mum's race on sports.
Yay! We'll cheer you on.
Yeah, that's my kids, isn't it? Until they learn, we've got to help them.
I think my view is it's quite obvious I'm a collaborator. I don't think a lot of the stuff that do go on in the world and that do become really positive and really fantastic, they couldn't have happened without a fierce, you know, loads of collaborators at the helm. I think competition, if you get into the unhealthy side, then go back to the start point. What were your goals to begin with? What's your why? What were your objectives? And that should take you off this little negative spin that you're running yourself into. Come back and then, you know, we breathe and we go again, with this time without the negativity or without the toxicity or whatever it is that took you to that place. I think also be aware of the women that you're engaging with, or the men that you're engaging with, because sometimes you can be fed, do you know what I mean? Like, someone whispering into your ear, oh, they did that a lot better than you, that kind of stuff. That can kind of pull you back. So be aware of the people that you expose yourself to daily. Are they collaborators or are they competition? It's
Or they're
all this
pretending to
self-awareness.
collaborate and
Yeah.
actually they're competition.
Be clever. Listen to people's
Come
words.
across a few of them.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes, we know.
So yeah, that's my view. As I said, I definitely could have done a round 2 with this panel.
Get it in.
There's so much to talk about. We've got so much to talk
I know.
about. Yeah.
So for tonight, I'm going to close the circle on competition or collaboration for now. Watch this space.
Part 2.
Excellent.
Part 2.
Watch this space.
And that's it for this episode of Circle of Connection. I'm Marie Hall, and I will see you at the next show, when we will be discussing taking a plane out of your comfort zone.
Brilliant.